Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to learn le passé composé in French. So stay with me until the end and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. Well, what is the passé composé? The passé composé is the most common past tense in French. It is used to talk about a completed action or something that happened at a specific moment in the past. In English, it usually corresponds to I did, I have done. How is it formed? The passé composé has two parts an auxiliary verb in the present tense, which is the conjugated form of the verb avoir or être, and the past participle of the main verb. We have subject and conjugated form of the verb avoir or être plus past participle. Why do we use avoir or être? This is the key question. Most French verbs use avoir. If a verb is not a verb of movement, change, or a reflexive verb or le verbe pronominal, it almost always uses avoir. Examples: je mange. Here, je, subject, et, the conjugated form of the verb avoir, plus past participle or le participe passé. Tu as écouté. To, subject, à, the conjugated form of the verb avoir, écouter, the past participle or le participe passé en français. Elle a regardé la télé. Elle, subject, à, the conjugated form of the verb avoir, plus regarder, the past participle or le participe passé. Nous avons écrit. Nous, subject, avons, the conjugated form of the verb avoir, écrit, the past participle or le participe passé. Ils ont entendu. Ils, subject, ont, the conjugated form of the verb avoir in the present tense, and entendu, the past participle of the verb entendre. So most of the time we use avoir. But when do we use the verb être? Some verbs use être. They fall into two main categories. First, verbs of movement or change, and second, all reflexive verbs or les verbes pronominaux, verbs of movement that use être. These verbs describe movement or a change of state, such as aller, venir, arriver, partir, entrer, sortir, monter, descendre, naître, mourir, rester, tomber, retourner, passer, rentrer. Examples: elle est arrivée. Elle, subject, est conjugated form of the verb être. Arriver, the past participle. Ils sont arrivés. Ils, subject, sont, the conjugated form of the verb être in present tense. Arriver, the past participle. Nous sommes entrés. Nous, subject, sommes, the conjugated form of the verb être in the present tense. Entrer is the past participle. Ils sont montés. Subject, the conjugated form of the verb être, and monter. It's the past participle or participe passé. Now, reflexive verbs or les verbes pronominaux use être in the past tense. These verbs include a reflexive pronoun. Me, te, se, nous, vous. Examples: se réveiller, se laver, se souvenir, se promener. Je me suis réveillé à 7 heures. Je, subject, me. Le pronom réfléchi, suis, the conjugated form of the verb être in the present tense. Réveiller, the past participle. Nous nous sommes promenés. Vous vous êtes souvenu, but be careful. Faites attention. We have an agreement with être, which means when we use être, the verb être, the past participle agrees with the subject. If the subject is a feminine singular, we add e at the end of past participle. If it's masculine singular, we don't add anything. Masculine plural, we add s at the end of past participle. For feminine plural, we add es. Examples: il est allé. Here, we don't add anything because the subject is masculine singular. Elle est allée, we add e at the end. Why? Because the subject is feminine singular. Ils sont partis, we add s at the end of past participle because the subject is masculine plural. Elles se sont levées, the subject feminine plural, so we add es at the end of the past participle levé. But be careful, when we use the verb avoir, there is no agreement with the subject. Now let's see how to form the past participle in French. For verbs that end in er, we remove er and add e avec l'accent aigu. Examples: parle, parle, manger, manger, écouter, écouter. For verbs that end in er, we remove er and add i. Examples: finir, fini, choisir, choisi, réussir, réussi. Some verbs are irregular, so we must memorize their past participle, like avoir ou être, était, faire, fait, prendre, pris, mettre, mis, voir, vu, venir, venu, dire, dit. Now, how do we make the negative sentence in the passé composé? To make a negative sentence, we use no pas. The structure: subject, no. Auxiliary, pas, past participle. So, no before auxiliary and pas after. Je n'ai pas mangé. Elle n'a pas regardé. Ils ne sont pas arrivés. But with le verbe pronominal or the reflexive verbs, we have subject, no, reflexive pronoun, auxiliary, pas, and after that, past participle. Je ne me suis pas réveillé. If this lesson helped you understand the passé composé, don't forget to like and subscribe and write a comment with one sentence in the passé composé. Have a wonderful day. À très bientôt.